This is the lesson for 8-7. What we're talking about today are something called a cross section or a slice. We'll see what that means in a second here. A cross section is a two-dimensional image that is created when a three-dimensional object is sliced. So think about a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, and a square pyramid. Those are all three-dimensional shapes, all right, 3D shapes. A two-dimensional shape is just like a square or a triangle or a circle or a pentagon. All right, it's just a normal shape where a three-dimensional shape is like these three. So when we take a look at these shapes, all right, notice that in a rectangular prism, we have six different sides. We have the top and bottom, which are both rectangles. We have the left and the right. Now, sometimes they can be squares, sometimes they can be rectangles. And then we have the front and the back, which are rectangles as well. In a triangular prism, there are five different sides. You have a triangle at the front, you have a triangle at the back, and then it's made up of three different rectangles along the three sides. You have like the two sides that are the roof, and then you have the bottom. In a square pyramid, this is a square at the bottom, all right? And then you have four different sides, which are all triangles. And those four triangles are all exactly the same. So when we're taking a look today, we're going to be taking horizontal slices and vertical slices and seeing what shape is there when you open it up inside. Horizontal. Horizontal goes side to side. All right. Horizontal goes side to side like this. And vertical goes up and down. With the vertical, it can be a side to side up and down or a front to back up and down, but it is up and down. It can go up and down like this, or it can go up and down like this. It's hard to explain in 2D, but horizontal goes across. What you need to think about is think about slicing or cutting butter, all right? If we have a stick of butter like this, that is a rectangular prism, all right? It looks just like that. Well, what you're going to be doing is let's think about taking a slice or a pad of butter. That's what they call this piece that you cut off, a pad of butter. If we take and slice off a pad of butter to put it on toast or something like that, well, you're taking it and slicing off this part. And one of the things that you're going to have to do today is say what shape you see once you take that slice off. This would be a vertical slice, all right? That would be a vertical slice going up and down. We could also slice this going front to back, all right? We could slice it going like this so that you're getting one long piece, all right? Or you're getting one long piece of butter, all right? If we slice it down the length of the butter, if we open that up, we would see a rectangle as well. But that's the difference between side to side up and down, which is that one, and front to back up and down. But that's still a vertical slice. If we are going to slice this pad of butter, or a stick of butter rather, if you're going to slice this stick of butter horizontal, we'd be cutting it along here. All right, we'd be cutting it along there so that we have half of the butter, and we'd be opening it up. And again, you would see a rectangle. So again, rectangular prisms look like this. A vertical slice goes up and down. All right. So when we're taking a look at this one, we would slice these, think of it as a stick of butter. We'd slice that stick of butter right here. And we want to open it up and we want to see what shape is there. Well, if we would open it up where that green highlighted section is, because you have a square on the end and a square on the other end, when we open it up, you would see a square there. All right. If we took a horizontal slice, So if we took a horizontal slice, remember horizontal means side to side. So if we sliced it like that and open it up, because you have a rectangle on the top and a rectangle on the bottom, when you would open it up, you would still see a rectangle. We could do a vertical slice as well. We'd be slicing it in the middle here, up and down. And that would be a side to side, how this one is, but it would be up and down. When we would open it up, because you have a rectangle on the front and a rectangle on the back, you would still see a rectangle. On your homework today, you will have to say what shape you see when you do your slice and open it up. Looking at a triangular prism. Think about a triangular prism as a triangular stick of butter. I know it sounds sort of weird, but that's probably the easiest way to think about it. If the triangular prism was positioned like this, and we did a horizontal slice, meaning side to side, we would cut it right in the middle like that. When we cut it right in the middle and we open it up, what we would see is we would see a triangle because you have a triangle at the top and a triangle at the bottom. If we did a horizontal slice, meaning that we cut it side to side like that, all right, remember horizontal is side to side. If we cut it along this red right here and you opened it up, well, what shape would you see? Well, because we have a rectangle on the bottom, when we would cut it open there, you would still see a rectangle. The rectangle would be smaller, but you would still see a rectangle. Just think about if that was butter and you just cut it right along that red, all right, and you open it up, what shape would you see? You would see a triangle. Or sorry, you'd see a rectangle. If we cut it like this, all right, and we cut like the butter, almost like we're cutting a pad of butter, but we would be cutting a pad of triangular butter. When we would open it up, you would still see a triangle. If we sliced it from the front to the back, so take a look at the top of the triangle. If we take a look at that top of the triangle and we slice it right down the middle, going from the top to the bottom, and we slice it right along that edge at the top, right along the tip at the top, and we cut it like that, and we opened it up, all right, the shape that you would actually see there is a rectangle. If we take a look at a square pyramid, all right, if we take a look at a square pyramid, when we have a square pyramid, this is a square at the bottom. Because we have that square at the bottom, if we slice horizontally, going from side to side, if we sliced along this green, it would be a pretty decent sized square. The higher that we get, all right, if we sliced it up here, all right, it would be smaller. So a bigger square would be down towards the bottom. As we slice going up, all right, it would be a smaller and smaller and smaller square still. However, if we did a vertical slice, vertical goes up and down. If we did a vertical slice, you would end up seeing a triangle, all right, because we'd be cutting right along here in the red, and we would see a triangle. The last shape is combinations, all right? We did volume combinations of composite figures, but now we're talking about slices. So think of this shape as like a house, all right? Think about this shape as a house. Remember that a five-sided shape is really called a pentagon. So in this one, we have a triangular prism on top of a rectangular prism. Well, if we take your house and we slice it vertically, but from the side, all right, if we slice it vertically from the side, what shape would you end up with? Well, you'd end up with this shape. If we cut the house on the side of the house, going straight up and down, you'd still have a pentagon, all right? Think about it as a pentagon-shaped stick of butter, all right? We'd be slicing off pentagons as we keep on going back and back and back and back. However, if we sliced it vertically right at the center of the house, the shape that we would see is a rectangle. All right there. We'd see a rectangle. No matter whether you slice it right in the middle or off to the side, we would see a rectangle. Now, this one isn't on here, but if we sliced it horizontally right here, what shape would you see? You would see a rectangle. All right. And as we keep on going up, we would still be seeing a rectangle. So those are the types of questions that you're going to have today. All right. They're going to ask you, when you slice it, what shape do you see? All right. That's what they're going to do. So when you open it up, what shape do you see? One of the biggest things that you need to remember is vertical goes up and down, whether it's front to back up and down or side to side up and down. And then horizontal, you're slicing it this way, going side to side.